We're seeing a lot of violence from the left. Just the other day, Jack Posobiec was engaging in peaceful protest against Congressman Jamie Raskin. There was a crowd of union members gathered around the representative. He had this bullhorn out, and they were talking about how important it was to get all their jobs back and remove Doge, and also peaceful protest is important, so you need to get out there. And then Jack Posobiec is there peacefully protesting, and what happens? He is roughed up, he is physically assaulted, and he is injured. True story. It's all on camera. Multiple federal crimes happened. Interestingly enough, it was Jamie Raskin himself pointed out Jack and told his supporters to get him. Is that interesting? You can watch the video. It's everywhere on real media. I noticed that it's been not at all included in mainstream news, interestingly enough. But then less than 24 hours later, Jack was attending a White House press briefing and was given by Carolyn Levitt opportunity to ask the first question. What do you think he asked about? What is the Trump administration going to do against the insurgent left-wing violence that the Democratic Party is either co-signing wholesale or at least letting slide, besides instigating in the first place? And Levitt talked about how the numerous crimes committed during the 2020 riots, those associated with the Black Lives Matter movement, and George Floyd, who of course passed away from an overdose, as we know from the autopsy report, all manner of violence in neighborhoods, businesses, against children even, went unpunished. The Biden administration did nothing whatsoever. Then, of course, there's all the incitement that you can read about in the book Jack and I did called Bulletproof: The Secret History of the Assassination Attempts on Donald Trump. You can look up all of that, how we point out the rhetoric that the left continually complains about. Well, they're the ones who are stoking it. And when the right gets angry about it, they say, whoa, turn down the heat, tone down your rhetoric, dear conservatives, that they did to escalate. What we're witnessing is the bully technique. Remember the bully technique? That's when on the playground, when a bully pushes and pushes and pokes and prods and prevents their victim from defending themselves, eventually what happens is the victim stands up and says, no, stop, absolutely not. What does the bully then do? The bully throws the first punch or first shove. Then the usually shrimpier child pushes back, says no, resists. What does the bully then do? The bully then engages in the LeBron James foul technique, which is to flop. And perhaps, like LeBron James, also cry and make a scene. That kid trying to punch me, he's hurting me, he's knocking me over. And of course, school administration, being as clueless as they are, what do? They believe the bully. Because, well, obviously the bully is crying loudly and moaning and complaining and rubbing. And the angry-looking child, the shrimpier one, wow, he's really got the school shooter vibes going on there. Oh, he's definitely at fault. Detention. For example. That's a bully technique. That's what the left has done. And I think as long as we allow that to slide, the bully technique, it's going to continue to be a problem. I also want you to understand that this is a way that you are persuaded without your consent and even will, your agency, your free will. You're persuaded, you're influenced, you're manipulated in many personal relationships by people who use the bully technique, in which case they've attempted to push your boundaries, push your buttons, push you beyond what's acceptable for you in the relationship. In many cases, it's a personal relationship, sometimes in business as well, but this most often happens in romantic relationships. The other person is pushing, prodding, pulling, and persuading beyond what's comfortable for you, or beyond what's acceptable. And you tolerate it, like the frog boiling technique we've all heard about. Boil the frog, right? They don't realize it's happening until it's too late to hop out. And then what they might do is once the temperature gets too extreme, you can't take it anymore, you react. And then the other person goes, whoa, that's toxic behavior from you. They'll use the T word, or they'll use the G word, which is what? You're gaslighting me. or the F word. That's not fair. So they accuse you of being toxic, gaslighting, not being fair, and then the most common one of all, the narcissist. Oh, you're just a narcissist. So if they say, if the person who you're in a relationship with has ever called you or referred to you as, talking to their therapist and their family member, as toxic, as a narcissist, as not being fair, any of these words, then you are very much on your way out of that relationship. It's time to move on. Yeah, you're not a gaslighter. You've simply tolerated too much. You have enabled, and that's where you can take extreme ownership. You're in this position, reacting this way, because you allowed so many things to slide that you ought not have. Have a zero tolerance policy for your rules being broken, your authority being challenged, and your boundaries being pushed back against. Zero tolerance. The right is having a problem, politically speaking. America is having a whole problem because we've allowed the left to engage in pro-violence rhetoric, defensive violence, and of course, open violence without consequences. Remember how the man who broke bones in Senator Rand Paul's body, he got 30 days? 30 days for assaulting a senator, breaking his bones. What did the January 6th insurrectionists get? So-called, I should add. What did they get? For walking around a building, taking selfies, praying, smiling, being polite and respectful to police? You know what they got. You know what they got. Cruel and inusable punishment. We had political prisoners in this country. Meanwhile, the most violent people on the left, like Luigi Mangione, become their folk heroes. This is what they do every single time.